Weird sciencey facts that boggle my mind. If you like them long, this one's for you. Siphonophores are the world's longest animal, growing up to 150 feet in length. That's 50 feet longer than the blue whale. And while they've got the length, they really lack the girth of the world's largest animal. Now, siphonophores come in many shapes and sizes, and their many shapes and sizes come in many shapes and sizes. There's over 150 species of siphonophore, and they're related to jellyfish. One species you may have had some experience with on an unpleasant beach vacation is the man of war. You know, the little blue evil balloons that wash up on shore and will send you to the hospital if you step on them? They are one species of siphonophore, not the longest species, but a species. However, they grow in a similar way to the giant deep-sea siphonophore. And how they grow is what makes them so interesting. See, when you see something like a man of war, you look at it and you think it's an individual organism. It's one animal. And it is, but also it's not. Because siphonophores are a bunch of genetically identical individual organisms that are all hooked together like a Lego set to make an individual organism. And they reproduce both sexually and asexually. Here's how it happens. They start as a fertilized egg, as like most animals do. Mature siphonophores, that is really hard to say. Mature siphonophores spray sperm out into the water like a blurred out Asian video, and it floats around till it fertilizes an egg, and that egg becomes a polyp or a bud. And that little bud grows into a siphonophore, but not a complete siphonophore. Because siphonophores don't grow organs like most animals. They don't have all the parts they need to eat and swim around and process oxygen and all that kind of stuff. So what they do is they clone themselves, and they latch on to that clone of themselves, and then that clone starts doing one of those tasks. And they keep doing this until they build an entire functioning organism like a living Connect set. So they'll grow a friend that's also themselves, and that friend that's also themselves is responsible for feeding everybody. And they'll grow another friend that's also themselves, and that friend is responsible for swimming everybody around. Another identical friend is responsible for the sexual part of reproduction, so on and so forth. And what's even crazier is because all of these are clones of the original organism, they're all genetically identical pieces. Yet despite being genetically identical, they can all do different functions. And each one is its own individual organism, but they only function as a part of a larger individual organism. These are like if those thoughts you have when you're way too high were an animal. Like, dude, what if we're not individuals? What if we're all just little pieces of one living thing? Think about it, man. Anyway, if you want to check them out, there's lots of pictures and videos floating around on the internet of these things floating around. Highly suggest you check them out. They're super cool. And the fact that a bunch of little identical individuals can all be parts of the world's longest individual, well, that is pretty mind-boggling.